FM 94, The Dark. It is that time again. It's time to get to know a band we play here on The Dark. And today, we're talking actually with the lead singer of the band, Awaken the Empire. That is Damien Lawson. Damian's joining me right now. In fact, I believe you said you're somewhere in the middle of somewhere with a lot of grass, so that must mean you guys are on tour right now. Am I correct on that?
Yep, we're somewhere in the Midwest with grass and trees, and I don't know exactly where we are.
That's okay. That's okay. Hey, let's talk about this band, Awaken the Empire. And actually, I got turned on to this band a couple months ago, found out about it. Obviously, your first song, Cross My Heart, came our direction. We put it on the airwaves, and it seemed like the people around here really were digging it right away. How did this band all come about, Awaken the Empire?
Okay, so originally it's kind of a solo thing I was doing. I put some songs online and got a good response, and then and thought, okay, probably should get a band together. And then I met what would be our current bass player now, Romina. We started auditioning people and kind of formed the band from there. And then we had a bunch of people not work out, because we always had the idea that this band was going to be our life and not just some hobby. So, it takes a while to find the right people. But then we got Siobhan and Daryl and had a different bass player. And then when he left, we decided to move Romina into that spot. And ever since then, we've been kind of moving the best way possible. It's been really amazing.
Very cool. Now, where are you guys actually based out of? Or there's a whole bunch of different places you're out of?
Yeah, we originally formed in Los Angeles, and then a couple years ago we moved to Seattle.
Okay. So the LA scene, obviously, pretty well known down there.
Yeah.
I guess music background for you, kind of, what are some of the things, and why did you decide to get into music and all that?
It's funny, I think originally when I was really little, because I was in LA, there was a ton of hip-hop going around, like Dr. Dre and Snoop and all those people, and I kind of I was really into beats and drum loops and electronics, and then I had an older brother show me Nirvana, and that kind of changed everything for me. So once I heard the loud, noisy guitars and the yelling guy, I knew that's what I wanted to do. So I kind of switched over, and that, that's one of my main influences. And then I've kind of always listened to just everything, hip hop and rap and rock, electronic. I'm kind of open to whatever. I love movie scores too. It's kind of a big inspiration for this band.
Very cool. One of the questions I always ask is, what is in your music collection that might shock me? So I think you already just gave me something, music scores, right?
Yeah. I love music scores, anything by Hans Zimmer, if you think about the Inception score, and there's another one, a movie called Donnie Darko. It's got a great score.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Damien, you mentioned obviously L.A. You started, now you're moving up to Seattle, and you mentioned obviously Nirvana, kind of the band that you really fell in love with, which a lot of people did, obviously, back in the early 90s. Now actually being in Seattle and being in that scene, what is that like nowadays?
It's really cool. There's still a ton of great bands playing. There seems to be the community up there is just pretty amazing. Every play a show, we never hit any weird ego. Everyone's always really nice and excited to be playing around each other and listening to each other's bands. I've had the crazy experience of I got to record some acoustic songs with Jack and Dino, who did the first Nirvana record, Bleach. So just being able to move up there and being a part of that scene and kind of getting embraced has been really amazing.
Yeah, and obviously a phenomenal scene, especially with Nirvana in the early '90s, and it's still strong up there, isn't it?
Yeah, there's still a great music scene.
Damien, we're talking with Damien Lawson. The band is Awaken the Empire. The name Awaken the Empire. Why did you choose that name? What's the meaning behind that name for this band?
Yeah, so we have kind of an underlying message of this band that all of us have kind of grown up playing music, and then and ran into some things where we maybe couldn't have done it, and we've all had that moment of okay, well, do we go and have that normal life, or do we stick with our dreams and really fight for it? And we all at that moment chose to stick with music. So there's kind of, like I said, an underlying message of getting people to follow their dreams at any cost and not be afraid to kind of stray from the path that's been given to you. So many people, they work jobs they hate, and just to kind of barely make it and survive in a situation that they're not in love with. So yeah, Awaken the Empire really came from wanting something that sounded huge and cinematic, but also, kind of fit the the description of what the band's all about. And so we're all kind of about waking up the masses and letting them know you can live your dreams, you can do what you want in this life, you don't have to hate your life.
Very cool, very cool. And obviously you're doing that right now, probably living your dream. And maybe not the where you want to be at this point, but you got to start somewhere, don't you?
Oh yeah, and you have to embrace what you have and feel lucky. Even where we are now, so many bands will never get this chance. So you just kind of have to give everything you have and just really love what you do. So, I mean, in that regard, we've already kind of found ultimate success, the fact that we can all hang out with each other and be putting out art and music that we love and that's getting embraced by people. I mean, that's the whole point. Money and everything else will come, I feel like, if you do the right thing and if you follow your heart.
And you guys are surviving so far on a tour together in small quarters, eh?
yeah, we've been good so far. And what's even more impressive for us is we've played more than one date, and our van hasn't gotten stolen or broken down or been attacked by someone.
I read something about that. Did that happen a few years ago?
Oh, dude, it was awful. We did a tour, and we got to Arizona, then our bus broke down. Well, our bus got attacked by a group of people while we were asleep in it, and then it broke down, and then we had to go back to California. Then next tour, we got a van and got all the way to Texas, and we were at a Denny's with security in this really nice area, and the van got stolen.
Wow.
So then we had to go back to California. Yeah.
Did you ever get the equipment or van back?
No, we lost everything.
Wow.
Yep. It was a month-long tour, too. It was over a month, so we had all our clothes, all of our money, everything. We just came back to, empty drawers and nothing.
What was going through your mind when that happened and you've had some setbacks like that?
Part of it was kind of laugh because it was just so ridiculous.
Right.
It's like, what else are you going to do at that point?
Right.
But, I remember we had when that happened, our current bass player, Romina, came up to me and was like, okay, we got to figure out a way to keep going. We can't let this stop us. Because, that's like we said, our whole thing is we're preaching that you got to keep fighting and you got to keep pushing forward with your dreams. And it was absolutely awful that happened, but we couldn't let that stop us.
We're talking with the lead singer of the band Awaken the Empire. That is Damien Lawson. Damien, let's talk some other things here for you. Current bands you're really digging right now in the active rock scene. Who are some of the bands out there that you're really liking right now?
I really like Starset.
Okay.
We've had some shows with them. They're really awesome. Nothing More, I think, is a great band that has just a ton of emotion in their songs. And it seems like people are kind of resonating with that. Royal Blood's cool. Trying to think who else. I really we're friends with a band called New Year's Day.
Yeah.
We've kind of seen them grow. We've kind of grown together, so it's awesome, watching them find all the success they're having right now.
Yeah.
So yeah.
They got the new song called "Defame Me" or whatever. They've been out for a while, so we play.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly. And it's awesome being on tour at 10 years because I've been a fan of 10 years for a long time.
Right.
So watching them kind of have this kind of renewed radio success is just amazing. We love being around them and getting to watch them every night. It's super cool.
What's it like hanging out with a band like that has had some success back in the day?
I mean, the thing for me is I just want to learn as much from them as possible because they're a band that's had longevity and they're still writing music that's getting embraced by the radio. And their attitude, they just have zero ego. And from what I've seen, the artistic integrity is so important to them. They're not bringing in, from what I've seen, like a ton of co-writers. They have their core group of people that are in the band, and they really hold true to that. And that's something that, for me as an artist, that's something I aspire to have in the future. So,
you're
cool.
You're currently on a tour right now with 10 Years, Non-Point, the family reunion. And obviously, one of my questions I always like to ask is, what would you have to put together your ultimate 3-band bill that you're going to play with? Well, let's just take away these bands because you're playing with them right now, but Awaken the Empire and 2 other bands that you would really love to play with. Who would that be?
Huh. I'm assuming we're going to go with living current bands. So.
Well, you know what? You don't have to necessarily. I mean, we could have some fictitious, lineups too.
Yeah, no, I mean, well, obviously Nirvana would be like the one for me.
Yeah.
That would be incredible. But I think I think most people would want to see that, just in general, watching Nirvana again. But no, I think we'd want to go huge. So someone like Muse, 30 Seconds to Mars, like bands like that would be cool. Maybe like Linkin Park would be awesome. Because then we're going to be in a situation with arenas and bigger budgets, and we can have a ton of lighting and build a better experience for our fans.
You were mentioning off air before we started this interview, last weekend, I believe you said you're at River Riot, and it was the first time you had been in front of over 12,000 screaming fans. What was that like?
It was absolutely insane. It was just amazing and insane to be able to play our songs in front of that many people and have them embrace it. It was incredible. And like I was saying, we thought we could walk out there into the crowd and just kind of hang out and watch bands. And I mean, within the first 2 minutes, we had people coming up to us, and then within like the first 10 minutes, we had like 40 people coming up to us, and then there was lines to take pictures with us. It was crazy. We've experienced like a little bit of that, like in clubs or like in local scenes, but not where we're going somewhere for the first time as the first band on the bill, and just to be embraced by that many people was just incredible. I spent the whole rest of the day like not backstage. I go backstage for 10 minutes, and I just want to hang out with everybody. Even at the end of the night, it's funny. There was a ton of traffic trying to get out of the parking lot, and all these cars were just parked there. We couldn't get out either. And so I thought to myself, like, hey, well, it's done now. I'm going to walk to the gate and see what's happening. Maybe there's an accident or something. I literally walked out of the parking lot gate from backstage to the main area, and people started getting out of their cars and running up to me. And that's just, that's the whole point is for us to have, for me to have an emotion and write about it, and for people to connect with that and want to come up to you and talk to you is such a blessing. And it's just, that's the whole reason we're doing this, is to put out art that affects people. And to watch people get affected on that kind of scale where it's, midnight and they're jumping out of their cars to run across the parking lot just to meet me. I don't know what more we could possibly ask for than that.
No, that would just be an unbelievable feeling. I don't really get anybody that does that around here. To me. Hey, there he goes. Run him over.
Get him. Get him.
Hey, what urges you to make the music that you guys are making? Is there something that really you kind of mentioned it before, with getting kind of, if you're living that life, you can get out and get to do something you want to love. But what urges you to make the music?
Well, for me, it's really instinctual, because there's been very rare circumstances where I will sit down and grab a guitar and be like, okay, I'm going to write a song right now, and then pick out words and try to figure out how to take an emotion I have and turn it into a song. For me, what happens is part of the Awaken the Empire thing, too, is I'm a really awful insomniac. So I don't sleep a whole lot, and so I'm kind of, when I'm in this like mid-awake/sleep zone, I'll get these songs that will honestly come to me like I'm hearing them on a radio. So what'll happen is I'll have something emotional happen to me. I'll watch a movie, and something will happen to a character that I'll relate to, and then all of a sudden I'll just hear a full song, because I play drums, bass, guitar, I can program. I hear everything at once, and then I have to go running to try to find a guitar and a paper and pen and write down everything I'm hearing. So it's kind of a different experience for me. That's all the songs really just come naturally and kind of in a weird raw form, and then I have to figure out how to make it actually work in real life.
And obviously you guys have done that, because coming up here this Friday, you're going to put out your first full album. Am I correct on that? Your first full album?
Yeah, debut album Aurora comes out on the 24th.
Talk about the album and kind of what that was all about, and putting it together, and finally seeing the finished copy, and that you actually have there that you're going to be able to go out and give to everybody.
Yeah, it was incredible. We started recording the album in late 2011, and then we went on to play play a show in Chicago with a band called Kill Hannah, and we came back and we were like, okay, cool, the record's done. And then we okay, we gotta wait to put this thing out for a little bit, and then that's when the van got stolen and everything got put on hold. Then I went back in and did 4 more songs with our producer Eric Ron, and kind of once we did those 4 songs, we knew we had like the finished product, and then from there it was kind of like, okay, what's the thing gonna be called? What's it gonna feel like? What's it gonna look like? because I do art and design as well. So I designed the cover art and all the artwork for the record. So it's cool that, I was speaking about the message behind our band about following your dreams. And so rather than kind of preach that from ourselves, what I wanted to do was create a character, and her name is Aurora, and you can think of her like Neo in the Matrix, like a chosen one, and kind of letting our underlying message be told through this character who's kind of born from nothing and gets found, and a voice tells her to go to the world and try to wake them up. And so kind of taking that concept, we tried to develop it as much as possible. So we did like a storybook that I wrote my brothers are writers, and we sat and wrote out this basic story and turned that into the booklet. And then we had a voiceover artist, recite the story. We use that before we go on live. So it's cool. I mean, to watch this thing really come together from songs to a concept to just one, big artistic kind of expression has been really incredible, and I'm so excited for it to come out here Friday.
Yeah, I mean, that has to be just a whirlwind of emotions for you to go through all of that and then finally have that come out here on Friday. I mean, I think that would be a great high. Oh
God, yeah, and it's like holding your breath for 25 minutes and then finally being able to take another breath. That's really what it feels like. It's the greatest exhale and inhale ever.
Yeah. We're talking with Damien Lawson, lead singer of the band Awaken the Empire. What have you guys heard your music on the radio at all?
Yeah, we actually just heard Cross My Heart on satellite radio yesterday. We got into Chicago where our drummer lives.
Okay.
I'm not even kidding. We walked into his backyard, and the second we walked up, it started playing on the radio. First time we've ever heard it.
Wow. What did it mean for you?
Incredible.
What did it mean for you to hear that?
It was, man, it just meant so much, because it's like after everything we've been through and the fighting we've done to keep this thing alive, just to have, we can hear it anytime we want, but just to know that everyone that was listening at that moment throughout the world, or the United States, or wherever, could also hear it. It's incredible. It's like being accepted, by the people you want to accept music in your art. It's amazing.
Absolutely. Cross My Heart is the current song that you have out. What's the story behind this song?
So the song is about, I was with my high school sweetheart for a long time, and that kind of ended and put me in a position of, okay, now what do I do with my life? So that's around the time that I started really writing music again, was after that breakup, and I had found Romina, who's our bass player, who's also my fiance. We had connected, and we both knew there was really something there, but we had just gotten out of these like insanely long-term relationships for our age, and it's that moment of, I kind of call it a schizophrenic love song, because it's that thing where you're in love with someone, but you're afraid that if you admit you're in love with them, they're just going to tear your heart in, because you've seen it happen before. So it's that, okay, maybe I do love you, but maybe I don't, because I'm just afraid that everything's going to go wrong. So I mean, that's really what Cross My Heart is about. It's a hopeful schizophrenic love song.
And you mentioned your fiance, Romina, and what is that like, being in a band with your future wife?
It's cool. I mean, the thing for us is she was involved since day one, before, even like Siobhan and Daryl got in the band. So we've always had this idea for the band together and this kind of vision. And so when the band was touring before and she wasn't in it, she was still there for every practice, and she was there for every tour date. So, I mean, honestly, sometimes we get the question, like, how do you guys not kill each other? But it's really, our relationship is natural in that way, where we can be around each other and it's not that big of a deal. So,
right.
So it's been really great. We're just hang out and make music and hang around together.
And it's not unusual. In fact, we have a skillet coming here this Saturday night. There's a husband-wife right there,
Yeah.
duo and that, and there's other ones too. So I mean, it's not an uncommon thing for a band to have a husband-wife combination.
Yeah, absolutely.
A couple other questions here, and I know you have to get going in here, but let's talk. This is one question I always like to ask. And sometimes you might need some help from the guys on this one too, maybe if there's anybody around. But what artist would you like to cover? And I know you don't have a lot of songs out yet, But what artist would you like to cover one of your songs?
Oh, man. Huh. That's a really good question.
Maybe Romina's there. She can help you out.
Yeah, let me ask you. You know what's funny? Who I would like to cover one of our songs?
Who's that?
Kanye West.
All right, I like it.
I would love that because I really like Kanye, and I mean, yeah, he's very outspoken, but I like outspoken artists. I think artists that give all the same answers all the time, or give 110%.
Right.
You know, they give those like cliche sports answers. I get so over that. I want my artists to be edgy. I want to hate my artists for a little bit and then like them again. So I think it'd be awesome to see his on one of our songs.
I think that would be awesome. I would like to see some of these pop/rap people cross over and do a rock song.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah, absolutely.
You know, Korn just recently did the Rihanna, song.
Yeah.
They kind of remixed up that a little bit. And, you know, something like that. I'd like to see the opposite way, though. I'd like to see, these pop stars come out and do a rock song in a pop version.
Oh, yeah. Dude, absolutely. That'd be cool. And the other thing, too, I know Kanye is into, like, indie bands. I've always seen him kind of, like, embrace and push these, like, random, obscure indie rock bands.
Right.
And I know, like, even for, like, one of his last albums, he worked with, like, Daft Punk, and he does kind of things that don't really fit the mold with other artists in his genre. So, yeah, I agree 100%. I think it'd be really cool.
So the question's going to be now is, Damien, how are we going to make that happen? Conway is going to do one of your songs.
I think it's going to be a minute before we're on his radar. but you know, I mean, as long as everyone's embracing us, maybe at some point he'll hear about us and he'll take it upon himself to do that, or he'll just laugh.
We'll try our best to get a hold of Conway about this, okay?
Yeah, see what you can do.
Let's see if we can hook him up in that. Hey, Damien, I know you guys are on a tour right now. Have you ever been to Minnesota yet? I know you're coming here in August. Have you been up here before at all?
No. We're, I mean, I haven't been able to travel a whole lot of the U.S. before this, so I think, like, today we're going to be going through Ohio, I think, on the way to New York, and so yeah, no, I've never been there. I'm really excited. I've had friends in LA that are from the area.
Okay.
I'm really excited.
Cool. Yeah, you're gonna be up in. It looks like you'll be at the Wicked Moose down in Rochester. That's about 3+ hours away from us here, so it's a little bit of ways. But you know what?
Yeah.
Still, people can come down and see you. I guess the last question I have before I get into the final question of how do they get a hold of you and all that is, if I go to an Awaken the Empire concert, what should I expect? What am I going to see there?
You will definitely see. It's going to be much more of an experience than it's going to be a band on stage playing songs. I mean, that's what we get all the time from fans, and even like when we were doing River Riot, I can't even tell you how many people came up to us like, holy crap, I don't even know what I just saw, but I know I felt a lot of things, and I haven't experienced a band like that before. So I think that's ultimately what we always try to do, is just whatever the song is about, we're not performing the song, we're kind of reliving, what the song is about. And I know for me specifically, that's every time it's like a therapy session. It's like reliving what those lyrics are about, and I can tell that people relate to that. There's also a chance that there might be debris, because sometimes if something goes wrong, I've been known to break an instrument or two. But that's the thing. I mean, we are a rock band, and we've got our pop sensibilities. But ultimately, I like rock that is raw and real, and you don't know what's going to happen when you're watching a band. I love that. I love feeling like, holy crap, this band could leave in an ambulance, or they could be okay. And I like having that I don't know what's going to happen feeling. So I kind of just go out there and I think we all just kind of run on instinct and hope for the best and hope that nobody really gets hurt.
Have you left in an ambulance yet?
I have not left in an ambulance. I have collapsed outside of the Roxy in Los Angeles and coughed up blood.
Okay.
Which is funny for a band. We're not even like a metal band, but right now I feel like I'm in Slipknot explaining this. But but it's true. I've had some serious exhaustion problems after sets just because too much happened. We played in Spokane, Washington, and I remember in sound check, I kind of had this note in my head of like, oh man, this stage is way too high. I'm gonna be screwed after this set. It's like, just try not to jump off of it. And then about near the end of the set, jumped off the stage and then got on top of the barricades and had to jump off the barricades and try not to kill people when I landed. And then that next day, I couldn't even walk. My foot was gone, and it was crazy because that next day we had another show to play, and maybe 2 hours before the set, I couldn't walk. And then miraculously, when the set happened, maybe adrenaline kicked in, and we got to do it all over again, and ended that set with jumping off the damn stage. So.
You're not wearing a cape, are you, Damien?
Yeah, nope. I kind of should be though. But yeah, that's the thing. It's that whole. We played a show one time where I went on stage with like a vest and bracelets and rings and all this crap on, and I came off the stage with none of it on anymore, and genuinely did not remember where all of it went. But apparently, like halfway through, I had given it all away to the band.
Oh, my wife's gonna kill me for saying this, but that's like a good night for her. She can't remember where everything went.
Exactly.
Oh, I tell you. Hey, how can more people find out about the band Awaken the Empire? How can they get their your new CD, all that stuff?
Yeah, so right now you can pre-order the record on iTunes for only $7.99. All the social media stuff like Twitter and Facebook, awakentheempire.com. We're on everything, and we respond to people so they can always write. And then we'll have physical copies of the CD coming out on our online store. And I know we're also going to be in stores as well. I don't have a final list of what stores yet, but I've been told that we'll be in throughout the U.S. in store.
Awesome. Hey, I wish you the best of luck on this tour. Have a lot of fun, learn a lot, and looking forward to seeing you guys in the future.
Awesome. Hey, thank you so much. I can't wait to meet you.
Awesome.
At some point, we'll definitely get together and hang out.
It will happen. Once again, that is Damien Lawson. He's the lead singer of the band Awaken the Empire. You want to hear their latest song, Cross My Heart? You're hearing it right now. It's on The Dark. It's on FM 94.